Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome to our Lake Dallas Independent School District Board of Trustees meeting for May 13th, 2024. We do have a quorum established. Ms. McKinley is not here this evening. If you would, please join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Now, if you'll please stand if you're able, and we'll be led in the pledges of allegiance by our HR Director, Carla Landrum.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to our first item, which is our student and staff report and recognitions. First of which is the Lake Dallas High School Class of 2024 Top 10 Graduates. This will be presented by our high school principal, Molly Avellino.
Good
Hello.
evening. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for having us, President Stacy, Board, Dr. Brown. We are proud to formally introduce the top 10 graduates of the class of 2024. So first this evening, I'd like to ask Naomi Kitamura to join me. Naomi's path to academic success has included taking numerous honors and AP classes during her time with us. She has earned acknowledgments for her scores on STAR and EOC exams, the SAT and the ACT. In addition, she has also earned distinctions for her successes in AP Calculus, AP Chemistry, AP English and Language and Composition, AP Music Theory, and AP World History, just to name a few. Naomi has also participated in National Honor Society for the last 2 years. But as we recount Naomi's time here at Lake Dallas High School, we also want to make sure we mention her avid participation in the band program. She has participated and been successful with multiple recognitions at TMEA All-Region, TMEA Area Qualifiers, UIL District Solo and Ensemble, and the UIL Texas State Solo and Ensemble Competition. As Naomi prepares to leave Lake Dallas High School, she is pleased to share that she will be attending the University of Texas in Austin to major in music performance and education in pursuit of becoming an orchestral musician and college professor. Naomi, we're honored to announce you as the LDHS Class of 2024 valedictorian. All right. Our salutatorian, I'd like to ask Amia Dada to join me. Amia has been extremely involved in several organizations across campus, including High Steppers, Student Council, National Honor Society, and Art Club. Even before freshman year, Amia had her sights set on success with a trajectory through high school that has taken her through multiple honors and AP courses, including 60 hours in dual credit college courses, which has earned her an associate's degree before she even crosses the stage with us next Wednesday. Although we don't have time to list all of Mia's roles and accolades, some highlights include serving as Student Council Historian this year, NHS Vice President Junior Year, and President Senior Year, where she has also achieved her distinction for 100 hours of community service. In addition, Amia has served as Art Club President, earning multiple medals, and if you were at Spring Showcase Saturday, you saw several of her pieces on display across the bridge. Amia attributes her success to being a driven, hard worker who doesn't give up just because the circumstances may be difficult. She is excited to attend the University of Texas at Dallas with plans to become a neuroscientist. Amia, we formally announce you as LDHS Class of 2024 salutatorian. In alphabetical order, we'll introduce to you positions 3 through 10. Lauren Anderson. Lauren looks forward to attending Texas A&M in a combined 5-year program to achieve both her bachelor's and master's in arts in English to become a future literature professor. Congratulations, Lauren. Cassidy Forehand. Cassidy has announced she will be attending Texas A&M University to major in journalism in hope of becoming a professional journalist. Congratulations, Cassidy. Unable to attend tonight, but also part of our top 10, Alexis Mebin. And Alexis is currently uncommitted, but will be attending either the University of Texas at Dallas or UT Austin. Caitlin McCurdy. Caitlin is proud to announce she'll be attending Texas State University to major in advertising and minor in Italian with a goal of working in entertainment advertising. Congratulations, Caitlin. Deborah O. Deborah announces she will be attending the University of Texas at Dallas to major in computer science with the goal of working in the tech industry. Hannah Rogers. Hannah is announcing that she will be attending the University of Texas at Austin to major in government in order to pursue a law career. Congratulations, Hannah. Ellen Starks. Ellen is announcing that she is headed to BYU to most likely major in mathematics and become, in addition, a published author. Congratulations. And Quentin Tran. Quentin is headed to UTSA to major in art with the goal of becoming an art teacher/professor. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Avellino. We appreciate that. Our next item will be our 2024 Lake Dallas ISD Teachers of the Year, and these will be presented by our campus principals.
Good evening, Dr. Brown, Board of Trustees. It's my privilege to introduce to you Lake Dallas Elementary School's Teacher of the Year, Taylor Rimley. Taylor fosters a classroom environment that is not only academically enriching, but also emotionally supportive, ensuring that each child achieves their full potential. Her innovative teaching methods and tireless commitment to continuous improvement serve as an inspiration to our entire staff. Taylor embodies the values of excellence and compassion that define our school community. She continuously goes above and beyond to create a nurturing and engaging learning environment where every student feels valued and empowered to succeed. Please join me in recognizing Taylor Rimling as Lake Dallas Elementary School's Teacher of the Year.
Good evening, Board, Ms. President Stacy and Dr. Brown. Thank you for having me this evening. It is my great honor to introduce Michelle Kessler as the Shady Shores Elementary Teacher of the Year. Thanks for not making me stand by myself. It is my great honor to recognize her. Michelle has been an incredible special education teacher on our campus since 13 years. We discussed all these years. Every day she comes with a smile and a willingness to face any challenge that comes her way. It takes grit and determination to grow some of her students, but Michelle is an amazing advocate for each and every student. and works tirelessly to help make academic, social, and emotional gains in order to meet their goals. We are grateful for her continued service on our campus. We're at year 39 years in education. We are incredibly proud of her and so honored to recognize her as our Teacher of the Year. Congratulations.
Good evening, Board, President Stacy, and Dr. Brown. I have the pleasure of recognizing our Teacher of the Year, Rachel Lembury. Unfortunately, Rachel is unable to be here tonight, but I still like to recognize her along with her colleagues. Ms. Lembury is a fifth grade teacher at Corinth Elementary whose commitment to her students' growth and well-being has been evident. Her enthusiasm for teaching is infectious, and if you meet Rachel, you'll know that like instantly. And it's clear that she pours her heart and soul into everything she does. In her classroom, Rachel strives to make learning engaging, challenging, and fun while instilling a lifelong love of learning in her students. One of my favorite things about Rachel was when I walked into her room and she was reading a chapter book to her fifth grade students with them all sitting around her on the carpet, and that's just something that you don't typically see in upper elementary grades. So I love that she's still doing that with her students, and they were really enjoying it. Beyond the classroom, Rachel is a true mentor and leader, always willing to lend a helping hand or offer words of encouragement to her colleagues. Her dedication to continuously develop professionally and her willingness to share her knowledge and expertise make her a valued member of our school community. So it is a great honor that I get to recognize Rachel, and I'll have her watch this video tomorrow. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Board, President Stacy, and Dr. Brown. I am excited to announce that Ms. Key will be representing LDMS as our Teacher of the Year. Come on up here, Ms. Key. All right, Ms. Key is not only an outstanding ELA teacher at LDMS, but she is also an amazing human being. She goes above and beyond for every single student that she has and is respected by her peers. Her support, hard work, dedication, and love for her students do not stop at the end of the school day, but extend well into the evening where she is meeting the needs of her students. She is reliable, trustworthy, and a passionate teacher leader. When you walk into her classroom, you are immediately welcomed by a calm ambiance and positive energy. We could not be happier having Ms. Key represent LDMS as our Teacher of the Year.
Hello again. For Lake Dallas High School, we'd like to introduce you to Mr. Stephen Bell. Mr. Bell is currently finishing his 5th year as a member of our amazing English department. He teaches English 2, Honors English 2, and Debate. As the LDHS Teacher of the Year, Mr. Bell's peers have recognized his exceptional dedication and impact, not only to his students, but the campus as a whole. I can honestly tell you that Mr. Bell resonates the qualities of leadership, mentorship, and the pursuit of academic excellence for himself and his students. Mr. Bell, we are honored to introduce you tonight and thankful for your contributions to Lake Dallas High School.
Congratulations to all of y'all. Our next item will have the privilege of meeting our District Teachers of the Year as presented by Carla Landrum, our Executive Director of HR.
Thank you. And now I have the honor of announcing the District Elementary and Secondary Teachers of the Year. These two individuals will represent Lake Dallas ISD at the Region 11 Regional Teachers of the Year Award Banquet in August. Choosing just one elementary teacher of the year and just one secondary teacher of the year to represent the district is a very difficult task. Our applicant pool is already the best of the best. So the district partnered with another Region 11 district and asked them to review the applications our campus teachers of the year completed. Based on their scores, we're excited to award the Lake Dallas ISD Elementary Teacher of the Year Award to a seasoned veteran who has held many roles in her esteemed career. She has taught in grades kindergarten through 12th grade and has educated students with disabilities in areas of specific learning disabilities, visual and hearing impairment, emotional disturbance, autism, and traumatic brain injury. She has not only worked as a special education teacher, but has also served as an ESL specialist. In addition to classroom duties, she has served on various student support teams, assisted with curriculum writing, and worked as an in-home parent trainer. The essay question she was asked to respond to asked her to describe how she would engage students of all backgrounds and abilities in learning. And this educator's response exemplifies her belief that all students respond best in an environment that allows them to develop strong social, emotional skills that will support future success as adults. The 2024 Lake Dallas ISD Elementary Teacher of the Year is Michelle Keshler. Michelle, will you join me? If you'll stand right here, Michelle. In her bio, Michelle states that she firmly believes that a growth mindset and social emotional learning should be at the heart of every classroom. And apparently, Michelle doesn't just talk the talk, because this is what some of her colleagues had to say. Ms. Kessler is truly the voice for all her babies. She not only cares about their education, but the child as a whole. She will create and makes whatever is necessary to help them grow in their education and learning. She is also an amazing mentor teacher who pours years of knowledge into them and is someone who past student teachers can go back to and seek advice when needed. Another colleague said, Michelle goes above and beyond for all her students and makes sure they have all the tools that they need to succeed. Michelle works tirelessly with kids both in inclusion and resource, giving them the tools they need to fill gaps in skills. She is the go-to person when we have questions on how we can help students who are struggling, and she is always willing to help with resources. Once again, please help me congratulate the LDISD Elementary Teacher of the Year, Michelle Keshler. Our district secondary teacher of the year is also a seasoned veteran, having taught 27 years, all at Lake Dallas ISD. I'd like to share the personal statement she included on the resume portion of her application. The reason I teach is a simple one. I am passionate about giving younger generations the gift of choice and opportunity, as well as promoting that being a good human helps us all walk a little easier through this life together. We live in a world, in a time where our futures can feel very unsure, and some students may not be getting an accurate depiction of the prospects that await them when they become adults. Some may have no idea how to prepare for their futures or dream about possibilities. I believe through teaching, I can contribute daily to my students having the necessary academic and social skills to achieve whatever dreams and successes they desire, whether it be to continue to college, attend a trade school, enlist in the military, or join the world of work. Inspiring my students to become lifelong learners and to hunger for growth and curiosity throughout their lives is a valuable contribution that I want to make in my community. The LDISD 2024 Secondary Teacher of the Year is Chris Ann Key. In her bios, Chris Ann stated that seeing the potential in every child and challenging them to see that they can have any kind of life they choose is essential, and that devoted and compassionate teachers will invariably be the most important contributors towards student success. Her colleagues feel she embodies just that and said, she is an amazing teacher who really cares about her students. Chris Ann has given countless years of dedication to her students. And another colleague stated she has been the most supportive and caring teacher to her students. She constantly, daily gives herself to the students to have every possibility to do their best. She makes herself available for students. She holds students accountable in the most positive ways. She is an open communicator with parents, administration, and her fellow staff. She is beyond incredible and has given 27 years to Lake Dallas Middle School and continues to make it a better place. Once again, help me congratulate the LDISD Secondary Teacher of the Year, Chris Ann Key.
That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Right, our next item are the May Teachers and Employees of the Month. Dr. Brown, I'll turn this to you.
Yes, sir. We will honor those employees during executive session with our video, and we had our breakfast a few weeks ago for our last of the year Employee of the Month breakfast. It was fantastic. So stay tuned during executive session and watch the video.
Cool. All right, our next item are information items, the first of which is the, we're going to do that now? You want to do that now? I've been told.
Ask nicely.
See, the Super Nintendo here is my kryptonite, so we're gonna do what she says. So what we're gonna do is each one of y'all that got the awards today and everybody, we're gonna do pictures with y'all.
Yes, we're going to do our top 10 graduates of 2024 first. Then we're going to do our LDISD Teachers of the Year, all of you. And then we'll do a picture with our elementary teacher of the year and then our secondary teacher of the year. Come on up. Graduates, you guys are first. The board's going to assemble in their safe spots they just naturally go to. And then we'll fill you guys in around them, okay? No one wants to be first. No, I know. No one ever wants to be first. Oh, I'm so sorry, and I forgot. We're going to do a Val and Sal picture as well. Okay. All right. Start filling in. All right, hang on. I'm very board heavy on this side. So let me have Mr. Appleby come on the other side, please. Thank you. Perfect. Y'all are filling in just. Look, this is not y'all's first time doing this. Great. All right, mamas, loved ones, families. I'm going to duck my head out of the way so you guys can get a great picture without me in it. And we'll go from there. Yes, Amia, perfect. Step right in there. All right. Everybody's going to look at the camera. We're going to do a couple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, family. All right, if I can have our balance out with me, please. Savalino, if you could get in this picture with us, please. Where? There she is. And he'll step next to Dr. Brown and behind Amia. He got it. Sorry. That's great. Fantastic. Okay. All right, we're gonna look this way. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Have it where they are. Right there. They weren't waiting. Okay. Great. Thank you guys very much. You got it, girls. If I could have all of my teachers of the year that are present to come up, please. We'll do those in y'all's picture of your secondary teacher of the year. We'll get your props back in a minute. Well, generally speaking, I do like my height challenge friends in the front. Exactly. Miss Cabell, you were walking everybody. There. Miss Kessler, feel free in between. Dr. Brown. Bruce. Got it. Learning. And Miss Sterling, if you'll step in a little bit. There we go. All right. Miss T, you're hiding behind Mr. Bell's head a little bit. Step out that way. There you go. All right. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. She'll step away. Okay. All right. I have. Okay, great. And then Ms. Kessler will get you first with your trophy and flowers for being elementary teacher of the year. Your trophies in my gang.
Okay, now we will move on to our information items. The first of which is canvass and declare the results of the May 4th, 2024 election of members for place 1 and 2 on the Lake Dallas ISD Board of Trustees and consideration approval of return results. Denton County officials have provided us with the official tally of votes cast for each candidate running for the Lake Dallas ISD School Board. I'll read out the name of each candidate in order reported to the district along with the number of votes they received. After all results have been read, I will ask for a motion to approve the vote count. For place 1, Aaron Appleby, absentee voting 52, early voting 473, election day voting 233 for a total number of votes of 758. For place 2, Greg Bartley, absentee voting 25, early voting 361, election day voting 194 for a total votes of 580. And Alicia M. McKinley, absentee voting 29, early voting 301, election day voting 122 for total votes of 452. So I will entertain a motion regarding the vote count.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Smith. Do I have a second? A second by Mr. Tucker. Is there any discussion on that? If not, all those in favor of approval of the vote count, please indicate. And that passes 6-0 against. 6 in favor of 0 against. There we go. Motion carries. All right. So our next, I have to declare the results. With the approval of the vote counts and for all candidates, I hereby declare the results of the May 4th, 2024 elections for the Lake Dallas ISD School Board as follows. Place 1, Aaron Appleby with 758 votes, and place 2, Greg Bartley with 580 votes. Congratulations to both of y'all. That'll put us into our next item, which is our administer oath and office to our newly elected board members. That is Mr. Bartley and Mr. Appleby. If y'all go ahead and step forward, and Melissa McCurdy will administer the oaths of office.
Appleby. All right, Mr. Appleby, you'll stand there. Okay, if you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Aaron Appleby, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Lake Dallas ISD Board of Trustees, Place 1 of the state of Texas. And I will do the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. All right, welcome. All right. Mr. Bartley, if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Greg Bartley, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Lake Dallas ISD Board of Trustees, Place 2 of the state of Texas, and will do the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Welcome.
Here we go again. Let them get some photos with family members if they are present. There, I see Greg's family over there. to the dais, Mr. Bartley. Appreciate it. If you ever want to say anything, press the button, wait for the blue light to come on, and then speak up. All right. Our next item is our election of Board of Trustees officers for 24-25. Do I have a motion regarding this item?
I make a motion that the current officers remain in their current positions.
So I have a motion by Mr. Smith for Lance Stacy to remain as president, Ginger Collier as vice president, and Mark Tucker as secretary. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Baird. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate with the uplifted hand. And that is unanimous. Thank you. Now our next item is executive session. The Board of Trustees will reconvene in executive session. Pursuant to one or more of the sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, the Board of Trustees will reconvene in open session to take any final action, decision, or vote on a matter deliberated in executive session, and it is 6:05. Okay, it is 6:41. We're back in regular session. Our next item is public comment. We have no one signed up for that, so we'll move on to our next item, which is our information items. And the only one we have is the 24-25 budget update. Mr. Wes Eversole.
Thank you, President Stacy. Good evening. Good evening, board members. Good evening, Dr. Brown. So tonight we're going to be reviewing our 24-25 budget. This is kind of our kickoff presentation this evening, and I'll keep it as brief as I can. So here's our budget calendar. Obviously tonight's May 13th, so I'm going to give you a quick budget update. We have a June budget workshop. We'll be going through some information. And then June 17th, our next board meeting, will give you another budget update. We will bring the compensation plan to you during that June 17th meeting. We will be presenting campus and department budgets as well. And then we'll give you another budget update during our next regularly scheduled meeting, which will be held on July 18th. We'll be reviewing the general fund. We'll also give you a budget information concerning our food service fund, our debt service fund. Those are the three funds that the board is required to approve, and so we'll be reviewing those on July 18th. We will receive our certified values from the appraisal district on or before July 25th. Typically, they come right on July 25th, or maybe a day before. And then we'll have a meeting on August 12th to review federal programs and the final budget update. And then we complete the process on August 26th. We'll have our public hearing. We'll ask you to adopt the budget and then also adopt the tax rate. So state funding follows a student. This is something that we discuss almost each budget meeting that we have. The Foundation School Program establishes how much the state funds the school districts. And it's based on district characteristics, student characteristics, the number of students in attendance, ADA, number of students enrolled, the number of full-time equivalent students is also a component of the calculation, and the tax effort. And but for many years, the state has set up a finance plan where as property taxes increase, state revenue decreases, or vice versa. If property values decrease, then state funds increase. But it's equalized, so for almost dollar for dollar, if we receive more in property values, we will receive less in state funds. And so the property taxes that we receive, for the most part, don't matter. The way we're funded is by the number of students walking in the front door and the characteristics that we talked about. So this is our 2023-2024 general fund revenue, and just kind of give you a feel for where we are currently as compared to our adopted budget that we adopted last summer. And so as you can see, we're projecting a lower projected revenue in our local tax or local revenue. So local revenue is primarily the taxes, the property taxes that we receive as a school district that go into the general fund, interest and athletic revenue, but the majority of these funds are taxes. And due to the homestead exemption, when we adopted the budget in August, the voters had not approved the homestead exemption. And so the homestead exemption increased based on the November election from $40,000 to $100,000. So as that homestead increased, the amount of revenue we received from our taxes decreased. The state equalized that for the most part. And so this affects not only our collections from all the taxpayers, it also affects our frozen levy as well. And so and the board did approve a budget amendment, I believe, last board meeting recognizing this. And so we'll see a decrease of $1.8 million in our taxes. We are not alone. Every school district in the state's going through this adjustment based on that homestead election. We are seeing an increase in our state funds, and the majority of this is our foundation school program funds. These are funds that we generate based on, again, the number of students that walk in the front door each and every day and the characteristics of those students. We're projecting a $1.5 million increase, even though this does include a tax value audit, some money from a tax value audit that we received this year. We're still seeing a decrease because the enrollment numbers that we projected last summer are a little bit higher than the enrollment numbers and the ADA that we saw after school started. So we have made that adjustment. The federal revenue is primarily impact aid, federal impact aid, our SHARS program, and some indirect costs. And so the main reduction here for the SHARS reimbursement is this past year they changed the rules, they changed the ratios, and this again happened statewide. So they lowered the ratios for reimbursement of our school health reimbursement amount. And so again, this affected all school districts statewide. I think it was an $18 million decrease statewide, and so our share was reduced a little bit shy of $200,000, and so we're making that projection and including that in our projected revenue. And so it stands right now, we're projecting almost a $41 million revenue projection as compared to an adopted budget of $41.43 million, about 99% of what we projected during the summer. And then as far as next year goes, you can see this is we're increasing based on, well, our calculations for the local component, which is primarily our taxes, is based on the estimates that we received last, I guess, 2 weeks ago from the county. Those are very preliminary estimates, and so as we progress through the appraisal district cycle, we will get a better feel for what our certified values will be. Our certified values will be sent to us on or before the 25th of July, and so these are estimates. These numbers will change, but for the most part, we don't anticipate the summation of the local revenue and state revenue changing dramatically from these numbers, although these are still premature. We're estimating a little bit less in interest revenue next year as compared to this year, because we see the interest rates, actually they've been steady for the past 3 or 4 months, but we are down from where we were when we adopted this budget. And so as it stands right now, it doesn't look like the Fed is going to reduce rates until after the first of the year, but that's just the assumption right now. So we've decreased our interest revenue a little bit, which will affect our local funding. Again, the state funding is based on an enrollment of just probably 20 kids more than we currently have, or we had during snapshots. So we're increasing the enrollment estimation just a little bit, but not materially. We're estimating our SHARS reimbursement for the year 2 after they change the ratios to go up slightly. So as it stands right now, we're looking at a FY25 budget revenue for the general fund of a little bit north of $41 million. And then give just a feel for our reserves. This is our general fund. TEA recommends that we have at least 25% of our annual expenditures as reserves. We've been able to increase that to 34%, so we do have some reserves of, like I said, 34%. Fund balance is essentially used for cash management, so that our cash flows that we receive from the state and we receive from taxes do not replicate our cash flow going out. We have payroll every month, and we don't receive our taxes, the majority of our taxes, until January. And so we use that fund balance for cash management, also ongoing support for educational programs, one-time expenditures, which we'll be talking about in probably the next budget meeting. But again, TEA's recommendation is 25% of the expenditures. And then the child nutrition budget, we saw a pretty dramatic increase through the COVID years as the federal government was reimbursing us for all our breakfast and lunch participants. And so this happened nationwide, and so we have a spend down plan to bring this down to more of a 25% level as TDA recommends. We have already replaced the middle school serving line, and we plan to replace the Lake Dallas Elementary School serving line and add a high school serving line this summer. So that will bring down those revenues or those fund balances. And then the debt service is used to repay bonded indebtedness only. So the funds from the bond sale are used for capital construction. You know, we've talked about that several times. And so, but the money comes into our debt service fund to pay those annual payments for those bonds. The increased reserves improve our bond rating, and we have refinanced or defeased debt since 2012, saving the taxpayers almost $32 million. So there's our tax rate for the past 7 years, I guess. And so this shows that we've decreased our overall tax rate from $1.67 down to $1.26. And so it's a pretty substantial decrease, and that is prescribed by state law. I'll talk about that in just a second. So just some key finance points. TEA calculates our tax rate. So when we receive our certified values, we will send that information into TEA, and they will generate the tax rate for us, and so that's prescribed by law. Tax rates have declined, as I've talked about that earlier. The higher property values do not necessarily mean that we're going to receive additional funding into the general fund, because as tax revenue goes up, state revenue goes down. Revenue per student is determined by a state funding formula. The basic allotment is $61.60. That is weighted over and beyond that $61.60, but I think the basic allotment hasn't changed in, 6 years, I think, something like that. So it has been a struggle. It has been a struggle and will continue to be a struggle until the state changes our funding formula. Enrollment and ADA are the most important determinants of the district revenue. We've talked about that. We're also battling inflation, and so since September 19, before the pandemic, we've seen inflation 20% increase CPI since 2019, and we're absolutely feeling it. We're feeling it as a district as we're also feeling it at home. The district budget is largely tied to staff. We're about 84-85% payroll, and so that's by far our largest expenditure. And the district is partially restricted by state and federal rules. In fact, I would take partially out. It's greatly restricted by state and federal guidelines. And so moving forward and what to expect in June, we will continue to work on our general fund revenue forecast. Again, new revenue is tied to growth. Right now we're anticipating just nominal growth, but we'll continue to look at those numbers. We'll be reviewing campus budgets. We'll be reviewing department budgets, and then we will bring a compensation plan to you in June for your review and possibly approval. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any questions or comments from the board? All right. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next item are the consent agenda items. Those are those routine items that can be handled in one motion and vote. Do I have any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? If not, I will entertain a motion on the consent. Move to approve by Mr. Appleby. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Baird. Do I have any further questions or comments? If not, all those in favor of approval, please indicate. And that passes unanimous. Thank you. Next items are our action items, the first of which is consideration approval of a resolution of the Lake Dallas ISD to create a police department. Dr. Brown.
Thank you, sir. We have Mr. Springer here in the audience. Hello, sir. in case you guys have any questions after I briefly read through this, you have the resolution attached to your agenda. And I'll just point out a couple of topics in the resolution. The resolution is based on the legislators authorizing school districts to employ security personnel and commission peace officers. It states that whereas the Board of Trustees has a duty to ensure the highest safety and protection of our students and staff, and whereas the Lake Dallas ISD Board and Administration feel compelled to provide an internal police department to comprehensively serve an educational purpose as well as a community purpose by providing specific training and policies and procedures related to public school safety and serve as additional support to our local law enforcement agencies. You see at the bottom it has several areas that it states to be resolved. The most important being that be it resolved that the Lake Dallas ISD peace officers shall perform law enforcement duties for the district as determined by the Board of Trustees, including protecting the safety and welfare of any person in the jurisdiction of the peace officer and property of the school district. And be it resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the superintendent to file the necessary documents with the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement to establish Lake Dallas ISD Police Department, negotiate memorandum of understandings with one or more local law agencies with overlapping jurisdiction, outlining reasonable communication and coordination efforts between the department and agencies, and ensure that all peace officers execute a bond as required by law. So by passing this resolution, you're authorizing us to move to the next step, which would be to bring you all memorandums of understanding for approval, and would allow us to initiate the process for establishing a police department for the school district.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept and move forward with this.
I have a motion by Mr. Baird to approve the resolution. All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Smith. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of approval, please indicate. And that passes unanimous. Thank you. Our next item is consideration approval of a resolution authorizing a one-time employee retention stipend, and will be presented by Ann Hahn, our finance director. Welcome to the meeting.
I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Good evening, board, Dr. Brown. Tonight, I'm really pleased to bring to you a resolution that would provide a one-time retention payment of $1,000 to all eligible staff. This is a small way to let our staff know that we value their dedication to the academic and personal growth of our students. To qualify, the staff would need to be an employed TRS eligible position and have been employed and working for Lake Dallas ISD on or before June 30th of 2024 and remain continuously employed in good standing on September 16th, 2024. The stipend will be paid in September of this year out of ESSER 3 funds, which are one-time funds. It's the recommendation to approve the retention for retainment. I'm sorry. It's the recommendation to approve the retention solution as presented.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Mrs. Collier. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Tucker. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of approval, please indicate. And that passes unanimous. Thank you. And our last action item is consideration approval of a resolution authorizing a one-time employee recruitment stipend. Ms. Hahn, you again.
So an additional resolution that would provide a one-time recruitment payment of $500 to all eligible staff. This is an effort by the district to attract and incentivize high-quality individuals that are newly employed for the upcoming 24-25 school year. And to qualify for this, staff would need to also be employed in a TRS eligible position, be hired on or after April 1st of 2024, and report no earlier than the first day of their assignment for the 24-25 school year, and remain employed in good standing on September 16th, 2024. This stipend also will be paid in September of this year out of ESSER 3 funds, which are one-time funds.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Hahn? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
A motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Smith. Do I have a second? A second by Mr. Appleby. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of approval, please indicate. And that is unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Hahn. We'll move on to our next item, which is our calendar announcements and information. We have the upcoming meetings and events. Dr. Brown.
Yes, sir. We are at the end of the school year, and you have a list of events that are all great things to be at if you have the time available. Want to point out that tomorrow evening is our retirement reception for district staff. It starts at 4:30. Then Wednesday night, we have the LCEF scholarship reception, another big one. Saturday is the Falcon Band Music Festival and Craft Fair, and then we have rose cutting, and then graduation next week.
Graduation
Graduation
next week.
next week. It's already next week, yes.
You better go to the cleaners.
Yes.
Pick up my shirt.
If you have a disco ball, it would be a good night to bring it.
I'm afraid that is actually a thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
That is actually a thing. I do have a disco ball. All right. Well, do we need to go into executive session, Dr. Brown?
No, sir.
We do not. All right. Great. Well, that concludes our business this evening. I appreciate your attendance, and we are adjourned. It is 7:03.